Bobby Curtis was the first person I ever met coming to USTA Florida. His office was next to mine in Pompano Beach, and he was Mr. Junior Tennis, Mr. Junior Tennis to all the kids, Mr. Junior Tennis to all the parents. He knew everything about junior tennis, and he was very well known within the whole USTA nationally, sectionally, down in the communities, in the regions, everywhere. Everybody knew Bobby Curtis. And when Bobby Curtis spoke, everybody listened.
Bobby Curtis, I heard about him before I even started working with USTA Florida from my mother-in-law. She told my wife played junior tournaments back in the day, and that's how they originally met him. But apparently they gave my wife and my mother-in-law a ride. There was some issue with the car. So that was the story that was told to me. And my mother-in-law spoke highly of Bobby. So that's my connection personally. But then I ended up working for USTA Florida in junior competitive tennis, and I worked with him very closely. Every day for probably over 10 years, I saw him. I got to know him, and he got to know me and my family really well, and very positive memories.
So when I think of Bobby Curtis and USTA Florida, I think of junior tennis like most people, but I also think the two really wouldn't exist without each other. When you look at what Bobby has done, starting in the, the 40s and 50s down at Moore Park, really serving underserved youth, which is a big part of what we really do today, and the foundation for a lot of our programs. You have to look back to Bobby Curtis, and he really is where it all started. And USTA Florida is known as a hub for junior tennis. If you're a junior playing tennis, you want to play in Florida. And again, that all goes back to Bobby and grassroots and just wanting to get more kids playing tennis. So he's everything to USTA Florida and junior tennis.
Bobby would want to be remembered for his welcoming, his knowledge, his fairness to all junior players. It's hard to really wrap my arms around how he would want to be remembered as being kind, as being he broke the barrier with African-American players. He brought them all in. He would want to be seen as diversity was very important to him. He was fun. He was a fun guy. I mean, he made fun of people, and he just stood out with the players, all respected him. And even the professional players that grew up with him now, they'll tell you stories about Bobby Curtis. So that's what I think he would like, to be remembered as being a kind, even though he was gruff, a kind person that respected all players and all people and embraced diversity to the nth degree. I mean, he was friendly with Arthur Ashe, and that's all I can say. He was just great in that realm back then. And this is like in the 1990s, that's 30 years ago. So he was trying to break that barrier then, and probably more like the 80s before I even started.
I think he was very proud of what he did for the kids at Moore Park. So there is inner city Miami. He got these kids not just playing tennis, but they were college scholarships. He was a very academic guy. He had his master's from the University of Miami, and he was very proud of being a graduate of the University of Miami. But in Moore Park, he had an inner city program, and he got the kids playing, again, not just playing, but they became Division I college players, and there was a number of them that became professional players out of Moore Park. And he told me he had Arthur Ashe spent a lot of time in Miami. He was actually a touring pro for the Doral Hotel, but he would come down and work with the kids, and that was the type of relationship that Bobby had with people, and Arthur Ashe was that sort of person. He was a person who gave, and he picked up that same quality in Bobby Curtis, and it was just interesting to me, you know. And I just finish with that is that's what a coach does. Like Bobby lived and died with the kids, and he had relationships with the kids after the program years later, and he got to know their families. He was a legend in that community, what he did for those kids.
I think just watching Bobby at the national campus, I think the impact that he's had on youth tennis and seeing the kids be able to play, no matter their background or, their economic situation. I think he would want to be remembered as somebody who made that happen, who was always about bringing people in from diverse backgrounds who weren't the wealthiest. And I think that he is a legend in that regard. He was doing grassroots tennis. He was doing what NJTLs do. He was doing all of that. He laid that foundation. And I think in my mind, he would want to be remembered by having us all continue to do those things day in, day out as a core part of our mission. And I think we will continue to do that and honor Bobby in that way. And every kid in Florida who picks up a tennis racket, that's how we'll remember Bobby and how his legacy will live on.